Oh, hello. Haven't we seen each other before? Isn't it just grand to be on the air with you guys today? It is just absolutely gorgeous on this Monday, October the 5th, 2015. And today starts the new season. Oh, Andy Alfred, right here on your exclusive home for me, a production of ClayFan23. I am your host, Andrew Alfred, welcoming you into the Man Cave Studios and welcoming you into a new season as we're into the fall edition of All Andy Alfred right here on ClayFan23. You can follow us on Twitter. It is at All Andy Alfred, as well as you can chime in as well on our Facebook page. My Facebook page is at Andy Alfred as well. You can also chime in also on the Google Plus Hangout app as well too. We also have our chat rooms open. You can follow, like I said, you can come on in, use the hashtag AAA Live. That's AAA Live for you guys today. Of course, we're having a little bit of a technical snafu right now. Computer times are a little bit lagging here at the studios today, so bear with us. If you are hearing my voice, of course, and you're seeing an image of me, of course, it's a little bit behind the schedule. It's okay. I am here with you guys today on this program, and we got a lot to get into. And first of all, the first thing is welcome back, of course, is to this program. If this is your first time tuning in, I am your host, Andy Alfred. I'm 25. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. I'm a sports broadcaster as well. This show is basically a recap and a take of what is happening in sports through me, and we recap and preview sports that are happening, aka from the past Sunday and Saturday, this weekend in sports. Previewing ball game, we'll do that as well too. And on Wednesday, we do shows Monday through Friday. Now this week and next week, the Friday shows will be excluded because Friday's edition of All Andy Alfred, of course, I will be down in Columbus for the Columbus Blue Jacket home opener. If you can tell by me, I'm a Blue Jacket fan. They play the New York Rangers on Friday night at 200 West Nationwide Boulevard in the heart of the Arena District. We headed down there on Friday evenings. Next Friday, I'll be in Columbus as well too, as the Jackets take on the Maple Leafs of Toronto. But let's get into it. Of course, we'll be doing shows now Monday through Friday. Some shows we will post on our Twitter. That's why you follow us on Twitter. Some of the shows will be live. We will tell you when our shows will be live. Of course, most of the shows will be tape delayed. And I really look forward to this new season with you guys here. We got a lot to get into. If you followed us over the summer, and now we're transitioning into the fall sports, with yesterday being the end of the baseball season, we're now going into in-depth more of football and more in-depth into hockey as well too. So, and we got the NBA coming up too as well. So I can't wait to chime in with you guys here on All Andy Alfred today as well. So let's get right into it. We got a lot to get into, so let's start off with what happened yesterday on the gridiron in the NFL. Offsides defense. Any way possible that the Browns could have lost that game yesterday, and after the comeback that they had, going down the field, I feel horrible for you Brown fans. I feel horrible. And the Browns are my AFC team. They drive me to drink. At the end of the game, after the guy missed the field goal, I was sitting in my buddy's house watching the big screen TV. Watching it. He misses the kick. I'm like, I told him before the kick was kicked. I said, he's going to miss this. It's a rookie kicker. He's going to miss it. He's going to choke under pressure. He misses it. I stood up. I'm cheering. I'm clapping. I said, we're going to over. And then the penalty flag. Offsides on the defense. Are you kidding me? Resets, kicks it right down the middle. The Chargers win. Oh my God. It's what are we supposed to do, Browns fans? What are we supposed to do? It is just I cannot understand and how the offense really stepped up in this game. The Browns offense stepped up in this game. And yet again, the defense is not there. Jimmy Haslam went out and bought one of the best defenses you could buy. He opened up his checkbook. He opened up his checkbook and said, "Here, how much do you want? How much do you want?" They get the best defense, and they drive it right down the field. Right down the field. It's unbelievable. It is completely unbelievable how bad this defense is. And what are we going to do? That was the best opportunity that the Browns had to win another game. Because now you're running into everything. You're running into Baltimore. You're running into all these hot teams now. And Baltimore, if Scobie didn't screw up on Thursday night, the Ravens would be 0-4. And the Browns would be competitive, and I would think they would win that game. But nope, Scobie misses 2 kicks. Steelers lose in overtime on Thursday, 23-20. Let's look at some scores. The Jets in London, 27-14. And what we're hearing now here on this Monday afternoon is that the Miami coach is gone. Multiple reports are coming in now that Rivera is fired as the coach of the Miami Dolphins. I saw it coming. I knew it was coming when they got Dominic Sue, and he has only gotten 1 tackle. How's that paycheck for you? Unbelievable. Jaguars lose to the Colts 16-13. Hasselbeck comes in the replace of Andrew Luck, and he drives the team down the field for the win, 16-13. The Bills lose to the Giants 24-10. The Panthers getting a much-needed win. They go to 4-0 over the Tampa Bay Bucks, 37-23. The Eagles losing to the Washington Football Club, 23-20. The Chicago Bears, the one win that they're going to get this year, they win against the Raiders, 22-20. The Falcons improved to 4-0 as they beat the Texans 48-21. And the Texans are, they were one of my teams that I could see getting a wild card spot. And they're struggling. They're 1-3. The Bungles getting a 36-21 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. The Packers, you ain't Russell Wilson, bro. Playing with Matthews. Thor, as my girlfriend calls him. 17-3 victory over the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are in trouble. The Rams getting a 24-22 victory over the Cardinals. The Broncos getting a squeaker win over the Minnesota Vikings, 23-20. Peyton Manning not having a good game after the Sunday night game. The Saints, a 26-20 victory over the Cowboys in overtime. Drew Brees has passed 400 touchdowns in his career. He is the sixth quarterback to do that in NFL history. So that recaps Sunday and Thursday night's games. Now tonight it's the Monday night game. Of course, it is the Detroit Lions on the road to the city of Boom to take on the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks 1-2, the Lions 0-3. 8:30 kickoff on ESPN. I have the Lions in this game. And here's why I say that. The Lions are up against the ropes. They need to step up to the plate. They need to win the game. And this is a game that can make a statement. You've been on national television twice. If you look at their schedule going forward after tonight's game, it doesn't get any easier for the Lions. Yes, you have you have Arizona. You have Chicago week 6. That could be a win. And then you have home to Minnesota on the 25th. Possible to get a win. But the next possible win is week 6. So if they win tonight, and they will get ready for Sunday night's game, 4:05 kickoff as they take on the Cardinals. So I would like to see the Lions win tonight. In all reality, I have the Lions picked. But in fact, I know Lions fans, and I feel you, it's going to be a long, long night tonight. Get the popcorn ready. If you with me, I have Buckeye Cable. So ESPN is 3, USA Network's 4. I can watch professional wrestling if I wanted to. There's no baseball on 63 this evening. But at any rate, the Lions and the Seahawks tonight, I have the Lions to pick in this game. And Calvin Johnson's got to step up. Matthew Stafford's got to step up in this game. Golden Tate, he can continue to go on. The defensive line has to step up as well, too, in this game against Seattle. Seattle, all they need to do is just give it to Marshawn Lynch and have Richard Sherman step up to the plate. They need a win, but the Lions desperately need a win to get back into some kind of a hunt. The division is absolutely horrible right now. The Green Bay Packers are running away with the division right now. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens tonight in Seattle in the Legion of Boom. So let's talk a little bit about what happened on Saturday. Do you think that the Buckeyes are really the number 1 team in the country? Because I don't. After the poor performance. Do you think Cardale Jones is your starting quarterback? I don't. I really don't. But of course, Ohio State, being Ohio State, and Ezekiel Elliott stepping up to the plate and helping them out, getting the win for Ohio State, 34-27 over Indiana. Ohio State improves to 5-0, 1-0 in conference play. Indiana goes to 4-1, 0-1 in conference play the game, and it kept it close most of the game until. And Indiana was driving towards the end of the game, and they were close. They were close to tying it and to go to overtime. Oh, it would have been awesome. Oh, it would have been awesome. Michigan State getting a win, 24-21, and I understand why that in just a second, why they dropped them. Purdue, only 1 win. Their 4 losses. They've lost to Bowling Green. Just saying. Connor Cook and that team is getting damaged up, and I'm a little afraid that Michigan State's not going to be the prominent team in the Eastern Division for the Big Ten. Florida 38-10 victory over Ole Miss, and Ole Miss falls hard the number 3 team in the country falls to the number 25 Gators and get the Gator chop going on. TCU rolling over Texas 50-7. They should be the real number 2 seed, and they were. Baylor gets a 63-35 victory over Texas Tech. Clemson pulling the upset. The 12th ranked Clemson Tigers beating up on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 24-22. Arizona State 38, UCLA 23. Alabama 38-17 victory. The Eastern Michigan Eagles of the Mid-American Conference losing to the LSU Tigers, the 9th ranked LSU Tigers 44-22. Going back to the Alabama-Georgia game, Georgia was the favorite in that game. I had a feeling that Alabama was going to pull up the upset because Nick Saban losing 2 in a row never happens. Never happens one bit. Wake Forest loses to Florida State 24-16. Texas A&M will win 30-17 over the Mississippi State. Silence in that game. Oklahoma was a 44-24 victory over the West Virginia Mountaineers. Northwestern putting a blanking on Minnesota 27-0. Stanford 55, Arizona 17. The Iowa Hawkeyes getting the pig with a 10-6 victory over the Wisconsin Badgers, defeating the Wisconsin Badgers in an upset on Saturday. Kansas State loses to Oklahoma State 36-34. The Michigan Wolverines blank the Maryland Tarps 28-0 in that game. Michigan having a good outing for them. California was a winner 34-28 over the Washington Cats. Looking at some other notable games, of course, let's get into the other we had 2 other Big Ten games going on that afternoon. It was Army losing to Penn State 20-14, and Nebraska losing to Illinois. That's a surprise, 14-13. Nebraska's supposed to be a good club. Nebraska is supposed to be a good club. I don't know. I just don't know. Mid-American Conference. And this is what gets me. Toledo was in this game against Ball State, puts 24 points up in the second quarter alone. That's all the scoring that they need. And Ball State loses 24-10. Ely threw 2 touchdowns in this game. Toledo's won his 4th straight game. They're now 4-0, 1-0 in conference. UMass beats Florida International 24-14. Central Michigan 29-19 victory over NIU. Kent State a winner 20-14. And then we get to the game that happened in Buffalo. And we're going to recap that game for you. Buffalo hosted the Bowling Green State University Falcons in their game at UB Stadium. And Matt Johnson, 23 for 29, 324 yards, 101 touchdown pass. His QBR rating of 78.6%. Travis Green, 17 carries for 119 yards as the Bulls improved down to 3-2 overall, 1-0 in conference play with a 28-22 victory. Fred Coppett, 10 carries, 75 yards in the game. The team had a total of 212 yards. Matt Johnson had 9 carries for 6 yards. Roger Lewis, 10 receptions for 201 yards. His longest was 61 yards. The team overall in receiving had 324 yards in receiving. Buffalo had 348 in receiving in that game. And the weather conditions was absolutely horrible. Rain and wind, and somehow, some way, that ball was flying easily at UB Stadium on Saturday evening as the win in the game against Buffalo. Bowling Green not ranked, of course, now in the top 25. They weren't never ranked yet in the top 25, but let's take a look at the rankings right now. Ohio State in the AP is still in first place with 38 first-place votes. TCU now goes to second in the AP polling at 5-0. Baylor 4-0 with 10 first-place votes. Michigan State falls now from second to fourth in the AP votes. Utah is now fifth overall with 7 votes. Clemson 6, LSU 7, the Alabama Crimson Tide 4-1 are now number 8 in the country. Texas A&M had one first place vote, and they're in 9th place in the AP poll. And in 10th is the Oklahoma Sooners at 4-0. Notables in the AP Northwestern 5-0 overall. Notre Dame falls from 9th to 15th with a record now of 4-1. The Michigan Wolverines move up 4 spots to number 18 in the country. The Iowa Hawkeyes now are 22nd in the country, 5-0, and they're now ranked in the top 25. And then 24th overall, the University of Toledo Rockets. Four 0. They have 87 points in the rankings. Boise State has 65. They're 4-1. But here's my dilemma. This team is 4-0, and in front of them is Notre Dame, Ole Miss, USC, Michigan, Georgia, UCLA. 6 teams with 1 loss, and they're undefeated. I don't know. I don't get it. In the coaches poll, Michigan State's 3rd overall, Ohio State number 1, TCU number 2. That's what I really think it should have been in the AP poll. But Baylor is – their offense is great, but their defense is shoddy. That's what it really is. And we'll see what happens with that. I mean, the top 25 is going to be this week was a shakeup, big shakeups in college football. We'll see what happens. You're going into week 6 this week. Ohio State getting ready to host Maryland on Saturday afternoon at noon. And then 3 big matchups in the Big Ten. Maryland playing Ohio State. At Ohio State, you've got Northwestern on the road at the Big House. That's a 13 versus 18. And then you have Michigan State. Michigan State playing Rutgers. 3 marquee games on the Big Ten Network on Saturday afternoon. Be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. You're watching All Andy Alfred right here on your exclusive home for me, a production of ClayFan23. And All Andy Alfred today is brought to you in part by the good friends at Dr. Zuhari and Fisher's office in Rossford, Ohio. Hey, Dr. Zuhari has been in business for a long time, as long as I've been around, even further more than that. My mother went to him when she was my age. If you're looking for Invisalign, if you're looking for down-home experienced dentistry, Dr. Zuhari and Fisher's office is the place to go. Set an appointment today by calling 43327. Or visit Dr. Zuhari and Fisher's website, drzuhariandfisher.org. They have fixed my smile. You can fix yours in less time. And also a good sponsor for All Andy Alfred. I have to say that they are top of the line when it comes to that. So let's talk some hit the end of the regular season. Thank you, God. It's over. It's over. Thank you. Thank you, God. The nightmare is over. And the Detroit Tigers have finished in dead last in the American League Central. Dead last. Excuse me. That's my screaming pillow. Unbelievable. This team. I haven't been on the air in a while, so I have to say this. Al Avila is now the new GM of the Detroit Tigers. He came out and said the other day that they're going to keep Brad Ausmus. No. Absolutely not. You do not keep a cancer. You cut the cancer out. New management. New regime. Get Brad Ausmus out of there. No. This team under 500. The Cal has had under 500. No. You do not keep him. You do not keep him. Fire Ausmus now. Now. Get rid of him. The first day at the end of the year. The Washington manager got fired today. There's a hire right there. Whoa. Unbelievable. The Indians finished one game above 500. And we finished, we finished 74 and 87. 13 games. 13 games under 500. Oh, no. And you want to keep Brad Ausmus? Are you smoking crack? Go. And yesterday was not a pretty sight, as Daniel Norris, the asset that we got from the David Price trade, helped us out, blanking the White Sox 6-0. Norris finishes the season 3-2 with a 3.75. Morales gets the loss. He goes to 0-2 with a 4.80. Cleveland gets a 3-1 win over the Boston Red Sox. Salazar, 14th win of the season with a 3.45. Porcello gets the loss. He goes to 9-15 with a 4.92 ERA. Cody Allen, his 34th save of the year. Other notable games: St. Louis played a doubleheader in Atlanta, and Atlanta sweeps the doubleheader 6-0 and 2-0. The Reds lose 4-0 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Colorado a 7-3 victory over the Giants. LA loses to Texas, and Texas clinches a playoff spot. Houston clinches the playoff spot, as LA will be playing on the golf course in fall. Philadelphia a 7-2 win over the Miami Marlins. The Yankees loses to Baltimore 9-4. The Cubbies a 3-1 victory over the Milwaukee Brew Crew. Houston loser to Arizona 5-3. Kansas City a 6-1 win over the Minnesota Twins. Seattle wins over Oakland 3-2, and the Dodgers a 6-3 win over the Padres. The Mets blank the Washington Nationals 1-0, and Tampa beats up on Toronto 12-3. So now looking at the standings going into at the end of the season, this is what it looks like. We will, on Tuesday's edition, we are going to pull the envelope of my predictions at the beginning of the season. If you saw our show at the beginning of the season, baseball season, my baseball prediction show, made my predictions, I showed you to them, put them in the envelope, put them in the drawer back here, and we were going to open them until the end of the regular season. Well, we're going to open them up tomorrow on tomorrow's edition of All Andy Alfred. But here it is, the final standings in the American League Central. The Kansas City Royals win the division at 95-67. Minnesota 83-79. The Cleveland Indians 81-80. The White Sox 76-86, and the Detroit Tigers fall at 74-87. Unbelievable. Another season wasted with Brad Ausmus at the helm. So now we get into, there's no baseball today. There'll be baseball tomorrow. It will be the AL wildcard game. It will be Houston taking on New York in the Bronx. It'll be Dallas Keuchel, 20-8 with a 2.48 ERA versus Masahiro Tanaka, who is 12-7 with a 3.51 ERA. 8 o'clock start time, that game on ESPN. Wednesday, we'll see the NL wildcard matchup. It will be the Cubbies of the North Side taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Looks like it will be Jake Arrieta on the hill, 22-6 with a 1.77 ERA. Will take on Garrett Cole, who's 19-8 with a 2.86 ERA. I like the Cubs in this game because of Arrieta and his pitching performance, and I can't trust the fact that Pittsburgh is home. Last year they made a deep run. I will take the Cubbies. And Thursday starts up the wild card matchup. It will be Texas taking on Toronto, Kansas City taking on the winner of Houston versus New York. In game one of that series Friday, it will be the wild card winner either between Pittsburgh or the Cubs taking on the Cardinals. And then it will be the Dodgers hosting the New York Mets. And this is a great series right here. It will be Jacob deGrom to start for game one for the Mets, 14-8 with a 2.54 ERA. We'll see if Clayton Kershaw can step up to the plate in this series and in this game. Of course, if you haven't heard, Larry Parrish for the Mud Hens retiring at the end of the year. So goodbye, Larry. Thank you, God. Lance Parrish is expected to be named the new manager for the Toledo Mud Hens, as an unconfirmed source, what it's told me. We'll see what happens with that. Speaking of Toledo sports, the Walleye getting ready to set up shop. And by the way, Friday, as I readjust myself here in my chair, the Walleye will have their preseason game against the Kalamazoo Wings this upcoming Friday night. Tickets are available at the Huntington Center box office and also by calling 419-725-WALL. The Walleye look to repeat as North Division champions and hope to get into the Kelly Cup final this upcoming year. Because it's our fish, our fight. Speaking of our fish, our fight, today started the training camp for the Walleye and for most ECHL teams. And that will lead up into the regular season, which starts next weekend. Starting this weekend is the NHL season, starting on Wednesday night. And a special note to you, Wednesday's edition of All Andy Alfred, we will have a special NHL preview edition of the program. We're going to recap and preview and give you my take and who I think is going to be in the Stanley Cup final this upcoming season. It was a pretty interesting choice for myself to see how far the Jackets will go and how far your team will go in this upcoming. So stay with us on Wednesday's edition of All Andy Alfred. We will have the NHL preview edition of the program. But on Friday night, before we get into the NHL, Friday night in Bowling Green, Ohio, we had a special edition, an AHL preseason game. And I got a chance to go down and see that. Grand Rapids Griffins, the AAA farm team of the Detroit Red Wings, taking on the new affiliation of the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Lake Erie Monsters. Good crowd on hand, about 1,400 people in attendance at the BGSU Ice Arena. Great play by short shifts were key for this game for Grand Rapids, but a super power goal for Grand Rapids, unassisted from Auden Hirschfield from the Walleye, and it was 1-0 for Lake Erie. Another penalty, stupid penalty. Penalties killed Lake Erie a lot in this game, and it cost another goal. It was 2-0 quickly. Power play went for Lake Erie in the first period, and power play was just a wasted opportunity. I'm reading these for notes. Another power play wasted. They were 0 for 2 on the power play at the time. After 20 minutes, Grand Rapids up 2-0 on Lake Erie. Needed to be a better start in the second period. Ball in front of the net, bumps the goalie, penalty Grand Rapids. Great save by Lake Erie on PK, but late power play goal for Grand Rapids scored. It's 3-0. And this is when I wrote Anton Forsberg, one of the backups last year for the Blue Jackets, was in the lineup as a backup for Lake Erie in this game. I wrote it as saying Forsberg needs to go in. It's a 3-0 game. Lake Erie power play after 44. Grand Rapids runs his mouth Nothing again on the power play. And then, too many men penalty for Lake Erie. Costs Lake Erie another goal, 4-0. And that's when I wrote down in exclamation part, Forsberg needs to go in now to stop the bleeding. Great opportunity wasted. 11-minute mark of the second period. 3-on-2 for them. They have too much in that play. Lake Erie had a good fight between 49 Grand Rapids and 17 of Lake Erie. Not very good scrap, but it was a good pushing and shoving. Tripp gives Lake Erie a power play, 4-on-3. And then they had a player, I thought it was Sonny Milano, but then I looked at the stats. It wasn't Sonny Milano in the game. 35 from Lake Erie was open all day, failed on the power play, 0 for 4. Time and time again, I wrote time and time again, what is it going to take to get a power play? Great save at the 2:43 mark in the second period for Lake Erie. A Lou breakaway misses, late chances fail, and we're at the end of 4-0. Third period. This is when it gets interesting. Start a 3 on power play. Here we go. Great chance to put the puck in the net. We finished the power play 0 for 5. Another fight, 56 and 49. And 56 is apparently for this club. Causes us to be on the PK. And then we had the incident. A charging call to Grand Rapids is 44 from him. He was yelling and screaming at the officials, yelling at the player, yelling at the Lake Erie bench, and yelling at the Lake Erie players that are in the penalty box. 5-minute power play for Lake Erie. And he was a 2, a 5, and again, nothing on the power play. 0 for 6. At the 3-minute mark of the third period, Lake Erie gets on the board. 23, 21, and 41. It's now 4-1, but Grand Rapids puts another one in. And the final score was 5-1 in favor of Grand Rapids over Lake Erie. And then Saturday, I wrote down Saturday's matchup should be a very interesting one in Windsor, Ontario. And it was. Lake Erie split the series against Grand Rapids. They start up the homestand. October 16th against the Iowa Wild, but they start the regular season this Friday in Rochester, New York, against the Rochester Americans. So Lake Erie Monsters, a very interesting club. Go out and see them if you're in the area. We'll probably be making a trek to Cleveland to see these Monsters and see the future of our Columbus Blue Jackets. And good house on hand. It was a half house between the Blue Jackets and the Blue Jacket fans and Red Wing fans. And half the Red Wing fans were more Walleye fans because they wanted to see the Walleye players there. That's understandable. I got an email earlier in the day that the Walleye Booster Club was going to be there. And it was good to see some of those guys there in attendance and supporting the game. Of course, on Saturday, BG getting a win over Toronto University in their game to start the preseason as well too. And let's talk a little bit preseason NHL hockey for you guys. We have the preseason has ended. Wednesday starts the regular season. Here's how the preseason standings went overall in the Metropolitan Division. Washington went 5-0-2 overall with 12 points. Columbus 5-2-1 with 11 points. The Rangers finished 4-1-1 with 9 points overall. So the Jackets getting a much-needed win and finished second in the preseason standings. It was Ryan Johansson, Nick Foligno, top scorers in the preseason for both clubs. will be interesting to see how they're going to do this regular season, starting on Friday night as they take on the New York Rangers. And hey, Wednesday night, it will be Wednesday Night Rivalry on NBCSN as the Stanley Cup champion Chicago Blackhawks and Patty Kane, who is free on all charges, will take on the New York Rangers. And the late game will be San Jose taking on the LA Kings. Toronto's in Montreal and Vancouver is in Calgary. Red Wings don't start until Friday night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's the return of Mike Babcock to the bench and to the Joe Louis Arena. The last year at the Joe this upcoming season. So get your tickets for that one. I think there's a limited amount of tickets left for that one. But I know that the Jacket game is sold out officially now. The only way you can get tickets if you purchase a season ticket plan. And it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this upcoming season with the Jackets, with the Red Wings. On Wednesday's edition of All Andy Alfred, we will talk about the NHL and dive into that as well, too. Today's show has been also brought to you in part by the Libby Factory Outlet. Hey, if you're looking to get your table upcoming Halloween season, you can't beat going down to the Libby Factory Outlet and getting all your spooktacular gifts, ideas, as much more. They have so much to offer, whether it be Halloween glasses. They also got the Christmas stuff out. Got to make sure of that. And plenty of as much as well. 205 South Erie Street in the heart of the warehouse district. Sunday through Sunday. That's right. On Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 5:30. Saturday from 8 to 5. And Sunday from 10 to 5. It is the Libby Factory Outlet. Setting your table right. They've set my table, and we set your table up for tonight's games. Of course, tonight's game is one game only. That is the Detroit Lions taking on the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football, 8:30 on ESPN, taking the Lions. See what happens with them tonight. That's going to wrap it up for All Andy Alfred today. I hope you enjoyed this program as much as we gave it to you, however you're watching us, whenever you're watching us. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments for the show, tweet the show. It is at All Andy Alfred. It's at All Andy Alfred. And as well, we'll be on the air tomorrow afternoon, a little after 6 o'clock, to get you set up for tomorrow's AL wildcard matchup and also recapping the NFL game tonight between the Lions and the Seahawks. Until then, I am Andy Alfred. I hope you have a terrific day. Go Jackets! Go Lions! Let's go Spartans! Let's go Cavs! That's going to wrap it up for All Andy Alfred today. And as always, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together. Game of life. And to the teams behind me, your team that you root for at home as well. Victory is sweetest when you have tasted defeat. Have a great evening, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for another edition of All Andy Alfred right here. Love you, babe. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Take me out of here.